Hi there, good evening, happy Saturday evening. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm sorry I didn't click that as quickly as I should have done. I was just trying to have a look at Find Myself on Facebook. Of course I failed miserably. These things are always sent to try you. Anyway, guess what? I'm on your TV screens tomorrow, our Crane Craft TV, and that is going to be at, I'm having to think about it, 9:45 till 11:30. It's actually 11:15. It's actually two shows back to back, so it's an hour and a half, isn't it? I could never do my maths, but so it's 9:45 to 11:15 tomorrow on Create and Craft. So really pleased to be there with you all again, and it's going to be nice to be in the studio with all my friends, because obviously I've been there years now, donkey's years. I think when I was talking to Rosella the other day, I think it must be 8 years now. So yeah, fairly long time. It feels a lot longer. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh dear me. So we'll just have a quick hello to people. We've got we should have YouTube as well, so hopefully we'll get some people joining from us from YouTube. So we'll say hello to Jill and Caroline, Jeanette and Karen, Jane and Christine and Shirley. Lovely to see you all. And Abigail. Abigail says hello as well. And Kath. How lovely. Well, lots of people. Gemma, lots of people on there. So I'm pleased about that. So this is all about the new launch tomorrow. And it's, I'm just going to switch something on my screen. That might be better. Oh no, yes, better now. Better now, sorry. So I can see the comments there, and it's just much better. Yes, these lovely, super cute dies that are launching tomorrow. So they are multi-craft dies. Now I actually can't remember working with multi-craft dies before, but I think I must have. It's obviously in a different lifetime where I've forgotten, but they are multi-craft dies, which actually is a bonus to you because they are kind of midway between paper craft and fabric crafting. So they're not as deep as the multimedia dies, but they're not as thin as the paper crafting dies. So you kind of got that middle ground. They'll still multi-cut layers, so you mustn't worry about that. But it's more sort of geared up for things like applique, where more often than not you're actually not going to be cutting multiple layers. You're going to be cutting maybe 2 or 3 layers at a time, and of course a lot of the time with applique dies you've got a backing on them. You're going to be using heat and bond or bonder web or steamer seam or whatever else you choose to put on the back, or you can use fabric glues, all those sort of things, all the regular stuff that you would use for applique dies. So yeah, so the first one we've got is Farm Friends. Now I'm going to go on the overhead in a minute so you can see these more clearly. Then we have the Animal Friends. They are so cute. And then we have the Zoo Friends. Actually, are they called Zoo Friends? At the zoo. Look at them, and at the top here you can see how many dies you're getting in the set. Is that how many dies? Yes, how many pieces you're getting in the set. It's true. So you're getting 26 in that one, 20 in that one, and 17 in that one. Now you can get them all 3 together as a bundle, and there is I'll show you in a minute what comes with it as an extra. Or you can get them singularly if you want to. So you're going to have the options. You don't have to get all 3, but I think I would like all 3 if it was me. And I'm not just saying that as a salesperson. I'm saying that as a crafter, because you don't know whether you're going to be wanting to have a farmyard animal or a zoo animal or just a little friendly, what is it? Let me get the one that's just Animal Friends. There we go, Animal Friends. You see, there's a dog, there's a unicorn, there's a mouse, there's a fox, a rabbit and a frog. So you see, they're kind of middle of the road sort of animals. I don't know, I think they're just so super cute. Now, as I say, I'll show you on the overhead in the set. So that's the 3 sets, and if you buy them on Create and Craft tomorrow, you get the applique sheet. I'm going to show you how to use that tonight. I'm going to do a quick demo. and show you how to use it. It's actually a very useful tool to have in your stash. It's just, I don't know what it's made of, but it allows you to build up layers of applique bits and bobs. And then when it's cool, you can just peel it off. And it's rather good. It's almost like you're making a badge, and then you can decide what to do with it. Now, obviously, like I just said before, you can decide whether you're going to be using like a heat and bond, a Bonder web, all those sort of things. My preferred weapon of choice is heat and bond, and I tend to use quite a heavy duty one. Now, that's only because for demonstrations, that's easy for me to use. The paper peels off the back incredibly easy, making a quicker demo. And that's, you know, that's really what I have to sort of concentrate on. But you might well love Bonder web, which you have to sort of scratch the back and split the paper and then peel it away. Both equally as good. The Bonder web is actually a real lot thinner glue level. Or layer. So you might find Bonder web better for you for putting under the machine, and it doesn't become so stiff. So you know what? It's one of those horses for courses things, isn't it? Where only you can decide what you like. I mean, I can just tell you tonight what I would use. And fabric glue works very well, but all I would say about that is I would say you would need to finish the edges with some sort of stitching, either hand stitching or machine stitching. With something like the heat and bond, all that sort of stuff, you could get away without stitching if you wanted to, but if you're going to put them in the washing machine, then I suggest you always stitch. So these are they. So let me put you on the close-up so you can see what they look like, because they really are really pretty. There we go, you can see what they look like now. So let's go through them one at a time. So these are the farm friends. So let's just try and get it in the middle for you. So you've got the cow and the pig, and I'm going to demonstrate the pig tonight. I'm going to cut that for you. The horse, well, that's not a cow. That's a bull, that's a sheep, that's a cow, that's maybe a spotty dog. I shall have to have another look. It's terrible how my brain won't retain that sort of information. Whatever the case, he's absolutely gorgeous. I actually quite like the piggy. Well, they're all gorgeous. They're all so cute. Now, all of these details with the eyes, not necessarily the mouth, but the eyes and the eyebrows, this sort of thing here, you can do with stitch. Or if you've got a fine fabric pen, I would draw them in. That's perfectly acceptable. They're not three-dimensional, Audrey, but you can make... They're big enough, and I'll show you. I've got some samples to show you. They are big enough to actually put a back on them. So, sheepdog, thank you. I knew that, I was testing. So those are the farm friends. Then we've got the animal friends. Oh, they're just the cutest, aren't they? They really are the cutest. So you've got a little mouse. You've got the unicorn. Oh, I stitched the unicorn earlier, look. And I've stitched it with silver thread, and I think he's rather cute. I think you'd have fun with the unicorn because you can do lots of lovely different colours. And I used a stitch for his eyes and what have you, but you could, like I say, you could draw them in. I get the frog. Then you've got the rabbit, the fox, and the little dog. Look at his toes. Can you see? Can you see his toes? I don't know if you can see. I think he's the cutest thing in the whole world. I think you're going to have a bit of fun with these. I really do. Oh, lovely. So then you've got the at the zoo. So obviously you've got the elephant. I can't get that one wrong. Panda, giraffe. I've stitched the giraffe. Well, no, I haven't stitched the giraffe. I'll show the giraffe later because I've put the giraffe on a cushion. The monkey, the lion, and the tiger. And you get all these little bits. You see all these little bits here. You get all those, so you can cut them and stick them down, or you know what, you could stitch if you don't want to cut little bits. I would just stitch them maybe, but you've got all the pieces. So if I showed you inside the pack, now look, I put mine on magnetic plates because it's easier for me. Oops. But they come on a plastic sheet. If I turn that over, oh, you can't see, but they come on a plastic sheet. This here, it's got lots of sticky tape on it. And what I do is I put mine on magnetic. In fact, these are the magnetic sheets from the trolley that we sold a couple of weeks ago. Totally Tiffany trolley. They come with loads of magnetic sheets for dies, so I put mine on there. I just find that easier for me. You might want to keep them on this plastic card here, but you know, as time goes on, the glue gets unglued, and you do end up, there's little pieces that you always have to find a little bit of sticky for, and you may not. So it's just my little piece of advice. So then we have the instructions, which are so darn easy. So first of all, you get the parts, so it tells you what the parts are. So main, body, head, and that main, body and head is the same for all of the animals in the set. And then elephant's ears, giraffe's mane, etc, etc. So those are all the bits that you have. But then you have how to make the animals up, so and it's step by step. Now obviously when you put them together, you might find, for instance, that the giraffe's mane has to go down first because that's behind the head and the body, and over literally 10 minutes you will work out what goes under, what goes over, and you can adjust things, but nothing has to be ironed down until you're ready. And the lion is super, isn't he? I've got an example of the lion I can show you. And then overleaf, we've got, let me try and get that in the center, we might miss the elephant out a bit. You've got the panda, so you can see how he's made up as well. Isn't he super cute? I love his little paws, look. He's lovely. And then you've got the tiger, then you've got the monkey, I love the monkey, and then you've got the lovely little elephant. Let me just move him so you can see his little face. And of course the face will make it, so that's what I'm saying, if you don't want to stitch, you know, use a fabric pen and just draw the face on. I think they're lovely. So obviously you could use any of your fabrics. We've got fabrics on the show, so you might want to use fabrics, or you could use felt. In fact, there is a terrific felt bundle on the show. It's 17 pieces of felt from memory, and it's a really good price as well, so you might want to have a look at that. But your regular fabric, if you want to use that, and actually you can use heat and bond or whatever on the fabric and the felt. So don't think you have to not use that on felt, because you absolutely can. So just remember that you can, and actually our felt, you know, Crafter's Companion felt really takes heat okay. I wouldn't say put it on a hot cotton setting, about 3/4. But it actually takes heat very well, so you're not to worry. I bought some felt the other day, and as soon as I put the iron anywhere near it, it just shriveled up. So the quality is there, so let me just assure you of that. And it will take heat and bond, Bonder web, blah, blah, blah. So you're not to worry about that. So felt, absolutely fine. I've got examples of that to show you in a sec. And obviously your fabrics, which is what I'm going to use tonight. So let's just have a quick look at some samples. I've got to put this somewhere. Let's put them over there. Well, I need the piggy, because I'm going to demonstrate the piggy. We'll do a bit of quick cutting. And the other thing I must remind you about, that these are multi-craft dies. So the sandwich that you need in your machines is for paper crafting. It's your paper crafting sandwich. Although we've got the fabric plates on the show, you don't want to be using them. You just use your paper craft sandwich. The fabric die, the fabric plates you still need in your stash, and I cannot stress that enough. And with that, I've actually got the Joe Avery dies on the show as well, so we're having another sort of re-look at those. So actually the fabric plates really come into their own when you're using things like the builder block dies. Anyway, let's crack on. So let's have a look, see what we've got in the box. It's quite exciting. It's always like Christmas. So there we are. So there's a little quilt with the animals on. If I sort of lift it up and pop it down, you can see the little animals on there. I suppose they measure about 5 inches. Let's get the tape measure. It depends on where you place things like ears, horns, feet, all that sort of thing. So the panda is coming up at just beyond 4.5 inches. So I would say that's about your average. But like I say, it depends on where you put feet and horns and ears. So that's one. Let's have a look at another. I always think it's like Christmas Day because I don't know what's coming out. Oh, this is nice. This has been zigzag. We'll have a look at that on close-up in a second. So, oh my word, this is the piggy. Is the piggy in every one? Yes, because I haven't looked at these. I like to keep it a surprise for me. I know that sounds crazy. They've been sitting in my room for nearly a week, but I like to keep it as a surprise for me. So, piggy. Gosh, this is a big quilt. I don't know if you can see. Can you see? I need to see it. Oh, that's a panda. So you got different things. Isn't that gorgeous? Who's made this? I don't suppose for a minute I've got a name. No, I never have a name. So you can see how easily they could be incorporated into a traditional quilting design, or this one's made out of felt. You can. I just love the frog. My Adriana's got a thing about frogs. She's very frightened of frogs, always has been. So this would be a joke for me to make that for her and give it to her for her birthday or something. So there's a little froggy, and he's all felt. Okay, he's all felt. Oh, this is lovely. So these are the lions. So you've got a pair of lions for Jackson. So that must be somebody's little fella. Look at him. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. And it's got a little... Oh, what could that be used for? Maybe putting your pyjamas underneath or something like that. I love that. Look at that. Well done, Jackson, when you get this. Very nice. Oh, I've just got to reach into my box. I need... Wow, I've got a mobile, guys. Let me just let the little... What was it? A little giraffe or something? I can't quite see. Let's just move that out of the way. So there we are. So we've got the piggy. Oh, we've got the horse. We've got the sheep. We've got the cow, I think. Yes, with the horns. No, it's bull, isn't it? And then this one. Can you see? So you can see they can be 3D, Audrey. You can see what they look like. So you would just put the same body and the same head, and join those together with stitch, I would say, and then stitch them together. But these have all been hand stitched with just a whip stitch, so it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So let's just twiddle them around. There we go. You can see what they look like. I'm going to enjoy showing these tomorrow. Let's put that back in the box because it's a stick, and I don't want Millie to think that she can have it to chew. So then we've got the cheeky monkey. Ah, he's lovely, isn't he? He's quite cute. He's made of felt as well. See, felt is quite nice because it's tactile, isn't it? And also doesn't fray, although no fabrics fray with a Bonder web, but you know, choice, isn't it? It's all about choice. And I'm not one to tell you what to do. It's true. Oh my word, what's this? Born to be Wild. Oh my gosh, look at that. Who made it? I don't know. It's the Invisible Man. Born to be Wild. I'll have to give that a little press, won't I, before I put that on set. Oh, look at the elephant. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's lovely. I'm admiring that. That's beautiful. That's really lovely. Lots of free motion on there. You don't have to do free motion. And then you've got the little bib with the lion on. Grrr. It's the best I can do. He's cute. And again, you don't have to do free motion. Depends how good you are or how confident you are. But you can hand stitch. You know what? Just a little running stitch. Please don't get too excited about doing mega difficult embroidery stitches. You can if you want. Do blanket stitch all the way around. or free motion, little running stitch. I'll leave that for you to decide. There are lots of different ways you can stitch those down. And then I think this is like a little towel, isn't it? Look, with the, is it the cow? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps actually, I think it's a made-up one. It's a made-up animal. It's a made-up animal. You see, that's what you can do, can't you? Yeah, I love it. It would be great for children, Nicola. You're quite right. Dawn, they're lovely, beautiful colours, aren't they, Dawn? And Gemma says, love the t-shirt. Yeah, I think we should have a t-shirt, Gemma, with that on. Oh, Tricia says, I made the Born to be Wild hanging. Thank you, Tricia. It's lovely. I must remember that. If I forget everything else, I mustn't forget that. I love the made-up animal. Oh, look at this. Little piggy on an oven glove. Isn't that cute? I know perhaps you can't see them so well, but they'll be shown on TV tomorrow, so they'll do close-ups, won't they? Have you seen the ears? How the ears go? Goodness me. Oh, this is lovely. This is the cow. Sorry, I'm admiring it. I'm not showing you. So you can see the versatility of them. And then, so I'm loving that. I'm really loving that. The frog. You see, that's the sort of thing you can do. If you're not sure what to do, if you don't do quilting, if you don't make cushions, blah, 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 all of those things that we love to do, just make a simple pouch and put a frog on it. Or you could, there's so many other things you can do. How about the unicorn on there? Oh, I don't think you can see that because it's a bit bright. Yeah. And the other thing is, you know, we're talking about where you're putting like the feet and the ears and in this case the eyes, depending on how tall it will be. Also, it depends where you put the head in relation to the body, because that could differ by 1/4 of an inch. I'll show you as we go on. So there we are. All right, let's pop those back in the box so we know where they are for tomorrow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut because let me just get my tools of the trade, because I need to show you the layers, that, you know, the sandwich that you're going to use. So we'll just go on the overhead just for a second. And we're going to cut the little piggy. I've got all my bits. I'm rather hoping I've got all my bits. Let's just try and get them in so we can see. So hopefully I've got everything prepared and cut. I do suggest that you get some tweezers or a pokey tool. I can't find my pokey tool again, so you know, that's what happens. So I'm using the Gemini Junior. So you'll need a bottom plate. Now you'll notice you'll get some markings on it. Please don't fret about that. What I would say to you is, if you're using these multi-craft dies, use 1 plate for paper craft and 1 plate for fabric. You don't need any metal plates. I can assure you, I've been cutting these all day and you don't need metal plates. These are not like the multimedia dies, these are multi-craft dies. So I'm going to keep stressing that over the next sort of little while. So we want the piggy, so let's get our bits out, figuratively speaking. Just make sure I haven't left anything in there, set the instructions. And we will put that together. It's actually a good idea to have this to hand, because you can follow the picture if you're not sure when we put them together. All right, so I'll leave that there so we can see it. But what we need to look at is the instructions. So we need to pick out all of the bits that belong to the pig, and it tells you here what those parts are. Okay, so I'm going to try and do that with, let's see, it's finding a bit of desk that I can do this with. Now you're going to miss a little bit because you've got my picture sort of just there. I can't do that. There. So I'm sorry about that. I can't shift that at the moment. So what we need, first of all we need a head. So this is the head part here. Let's just get these in shot. So this is the head. So I know I need one piece of fabric, one piece of pink fabric. Now, if you want to multi-cut these, of course you can. But just for speed, I'm just going to do one layer because I only want to make one pig. We also need a body. So I've got my body shape there and I've got my body die. Let me just bring in the magnetic sheet. So I've got my body shape there, and so all of the animals will have these components, okay? So it's cutting edge facing into my fabric, okay? So this is the flat edge that you're looking at there. So I'll just put those off camera for a minute because then I need to concentrate on what else we need. So we need some ears. So if we look at Piggy, we need some ears. So let's find the ears, and I need 2 pieces. Now, if you're using fabric, can I suggest you do, excuse me, right sides together, because then you'll get the correctly positioned shape. It doesn't always matter. For instance, the ears are the same shape all the way round, but it may not be. So right sides together with fabric. With felt, it doesn't matter. With felt it doesn't matter. So I need the ears, so let's find those. So it's these here, so I put that on there. A bit tight for space, but I'm sure we'll be okay, unless I've got the wrong pieces. It'll be fine. And then we need a tail, so this is the tail here. So I need 1 piece for the tail, so let's pop that down like that. What else do we need? We need 2 feet. Okay, so let's have a look. I think those are the feet. So I've clipped all my bits together so I know we're okay. So feet go there, and that's this one. Then we've got, let's have a look. Oh, we need some toes. Hold on, let's just make sure we've got all the right bits that we need. I don't think I've got any dark fabric for the toes, but we won't worry about that. We need a nose. So that is this one here. Okay, this one here. I'm going to put that to one side because I'm going to quickly see if I've got my dark fabric handy. I'm not sure I have because I've packed everything away now, but we'll give it a go. Well, we can cut it anyway and then you'll see what it looks like. So we'll do the nose. And then we need 2 little feet. So if you have a look at the picture, do you see those 2 little sort of feet part? We need those. So let's put that on there like that. And we'll cut those. And then we need, let's have a look. We need the arms, or the legs, the 2 legs like that. Okay. So that's these parts here and this bit here. Oh dear. There we go. Let's put those on there. So you can see I can get everything on my Gemini, and this is the same for all the animals. You can get them all on the Gemini plate. I suppose if you've got the bigger machine, which you know I've got and I use all the time, you could probably cut 2 animals if you want. So it's no bother. So we're just about there. We've got a little mouth as well, so I'm going to leave that out for the time being, just so we can get this cut. Right, so this is the sandwich. We've got the clear plates, then we put our magnetic sheet over the top, so just literally plonk it over the top, and you'll hear the dies grab the plate. Then you want the opaque plate, and then you want the clear plate, okay? And then we're going to pop it through the machine. So I'll just move some of my stuff, just so we're in shot and all of that. And I'm just going to pop it through my Junior. You can just about see it there. So I'm just taking my dies, being very careful with them, popping them through. There we go. You can just about see it go through. I bring it round. It's just right in the corner there. There we go. Okay, so that's my dies cut. So if we go back onto the overhead again, let's just get rid of some of the junk. And we'll go to the overhead again. Okay, so I haven't touched anything. That's how I've taken it out of the machine. And then we want to sort of layer these up. Now this is where your applique sheet comes in really handy. And actually you'll see I've already got some bits on there ready for tomorrow. But what we can do, you can see I've got the piggy there. So do you see how the nose and the feet and the bottom of the legs, they're a slightly darker pink? And this is actually ink. It's actually fabric crafting ink, or it could be just your regular pens, but I put cheeks on them so they look a little bit more, and they're ready to be peeled off and used for applique and the tail. I think I had the tail, Jackie. I think I did. We'll have a look in a minute. So you can peel these off, you can iron these on, we'll do that. Then you can peel them off when they're cool. Don't even try when they're warm. And then you can, they're ready to put on whatever project you want to put them on. So let's put our mat onto a heat resistant mat. We'll just pop that to one side for a second. Running out of space here, so let's just take all our bits and pieces away. I'm going to get my magnetic sheets because I want to put them straight on. Now what you might find is when you take your magnetic sheet off, lots of the dies will come away at the same time, and that's fine. It's a magnetic sheet. It would be very strange if it didn't. So all I'm doing is popping these on straight away. I'm not messing about. I don't want to lose anything. I mean, that's just scrap. Some of these little bits I keep actually, and then like here you'll find that there's little pieces that you might use in the corner for cheeks, that sort of thing. And I find with heat and bond that my papers come off almost instantly. So there's my fabric there. I'll just pop it down. There's the nose. So that's now clear. So just make sure it is before you put it away. And then obviously we come to all the bits and bobs that we've got here, so you can just peel them away. You might get little bits that catch, in which case just get a little pair of scissors. The thing about these machines, and which I've discovered over many years, is that they much prefer a lot of pressure than a little pressure. Right, so there's the nose. Oh, I did do it in a different colour. I didn't think I did. I think it's the lights, as the lights are so bright in here. So the other thing is, all these backings, as I said, they will just absolutely float off if you've used heat and bond. With Bonder Web, not so much. There's the ears. Whoops, come back. So we've got all the components. I'm just taking the papers off. Here are the arms. And we'll just release them so they're ready to go on, so the die can go back on my mat. There's the little ends of the feet, which I would have preferred to have had in a dark pink, but they'll do as they are. It's just a case of showing you really. So let's just get the papers off of that, which has done that. And then all the spares. There's my little tail, Jackie. We did the tail. Hopefully it's the right way round, I've no idea. Now if these papers embed in, that's perfectly fine. These are deeper dies than your papercraft dies. If you think that it was ruining your plate, they absolutely won't, because you're going to save this plate for all of your multi-craft dies. You're not going to use this for paper crafting, and to be perfectly honest, I don't think a lot of us do paper crafting, at least not my followers so much on Facebook. So I'm just taking my magnetic sheet away, if I can get hold of it. There we go. And now we've got all the components to make the piggy, and you'll do this a lot quicker than I'm doing. I'm faffing because I'm so short of space here. It's amazing. I'm surrounded by stuff. So if we turn that around, isn't he the cutest? And we start building it up. So this is where, quite honestly, yes, you can absolutely follow this. So we could open this up. Let's do that so you can see it. And we're going to actually glue these straight down onto this sheet. You can take all the backings off. You don't have to have any of them on. So I want you to have a look at the shapes. So this is the body shape here. Let's just move that up. There we go. got a little bit of thread there. So this is the body shape, so you can see how that looks with the picture on here. Now the head, the thinner part of the curve, if you like, goes at the top. Okay, you might not sort of immediately think that. Now, when you put this head on, if you do that, well, A, it's not going to be stuck together. That's so not right. And so it will make your little animal a lot taller. So you need to bring him down, bring the head down until you feel that's comfortable for you. And it might be there or it might be a little bit lower. But at the moment we're not ironing anything. So then we've got the arms, and the arms get tucked under here. And have a look at the picture. Have a look, see where the arms sit. Make sure they're sitting about the same place as the picture, and then we'll put the other one down as well. So that's our arms in place, but we've also got feet as well, so don't iron anything down because we've got to put our feet on there. So just lift everything up, pop your feet under, there we go. And of course you can move it around, and this is where, if you're using tweezers, if you've got tweezers, which of course I've lost now, then you can use tweezers. Here we go. You can use your tweezers to sort of move things around, and so you're not disturbing too much. Okay, then you've got the little nose, and the nose, again, I want you to have a look at the picture. The nose goes, so the little sort of the pointy end, if you like, goes up the top there. Okay, and then we've got the ears, and my ears are kind of stuck together, but we'll get them. Now you might want to change the colours on these. You might want to, I mean, I'm putting dark ears on but you could put it could be a spotty pig, isn't there? There's a spotty pig, isn't it, you can get. So, and do you see how I've done that a bit square? So get my tweezers and I'm just going to pull them around a little bit. And again, it kind of gives it character if you move them around. There we go. Then you've got the tail. Now the tail goes underneath, so he's got to go under there. And make sure, if you're using Bondaweb, that you push it far enough under so it glues itself to the whole body. And then you've got the feet. Now the feet, as I said, I would have liked to have had in a different colour, in a darker pink, but we'll go with it. And just make sure you're putting the glue side down. Just keep an eye on that. So that's our little feet down, and you can see that's those little bits here. So everything is done except the mouth and the eyes, but all of that I can do with free motion embroidery. So now I'm going to put my hot iron straight over the top, and I'm just literally going to hold it. So I'm not moving it around, I'm just literally holding it. Do the dies stay sharp? Well, they're not sharp. It's a blunt. They're a blunt edge. It's the pressure of the machine that pushes them into the fabric. Where's my dies? Let me show. Well, I can't show you, but I can do that. I would never get cut by a die. Never, never, never. But it's the pressure of the machine. It's just a bit like in engineering, you get dies in engineering, and it's exactly the same thing. The pressure of the machine, the intense pressure, pushes that through all the layers, and it cuts. They never, well, I'm going to put my neck on the line and say they never dull. I've never known a die to dull. And if you think how many times I've used my builder block system, none of them have dulled. I've never known that to happen. So I'd say they're a lifetime purchase for sure. Yeah. And Audrey says you could add googly eyes. Oh my gosh, Audrey, you absolutely can. So look, I think I've just about ironed him. So once you feel that you've given him a good iron, so you've heated that glue through all of those layers, then he's ready to be peeled off when he's cool. He has to be cool. Cool for kids before you peel him off that. But this applique sheet comes with the bundle of dies tomorrow. So if you buy the set of 3 dies, this sheet comes with it, and it's really great, and I would always use one of these if I'm building up layers. So I've got an old to new paper crafting ink pad here, so I can just add some little pink cheeks to my little piggy. Okay, like I say, you could use fabric ink, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink his paws or his trotters. And if you're using fabric ink, you could add some shading. I mean, this is, you know, this is going back to paper crafting days, but there's no reason why you can't. Absolutely no reason why you can't. So you can pull that down like you would. Now I've got to be careful because I've got green and black ink on this, but you get the gist of what you can do. Okay, this is not a one-trick pony. This is creating something really for your imagination. It's great. Now I mustn't forget that. So I'm just feeling, no, that's nice and cool now. So look, I use my iron to glue everything together, and now I can just peel that away. I want you to have a look at this, and you can see why the applique sheet is really important. Okay, so now that is ready to put on a project. So none of the glue has been you know, diminished in its strength. It's still fine. So this is an 8.5 inch block. So if I bring my iron in again, and you can find the middle, and you know, just eyeball it, make sure it's in the middle. I'm just going to move that over a touch. There we go. Is that the right way around? Yeah. And then you're going to do the same again. You're just going to pop your iron on there, let it sit for a minute. Now you know that everything is glued together. So if you want to go like that, go like that. Go from the back as well, because that's where the glue is that you're heating. You know, you don't really want to heat through all those layers, and you don't want to risk scorching anything. You just, you know, be sensible with that sort of thing. So that is now firmly stuck on. So the applique sheet hasn't taken any away, hasn't compromised the glue at all. So look, I can flip that around and move that around, and that is now fixed in place, and he's just now ready for some embroidery. And I've got some pink thread, so if you want to stick around for 5 minutes, I'll stitch a bit of him so you can see. Now the other thing I wanted to show you was the felt. Now I did the giraffe very basically. In other words, I used my textile glue, I used a paintbrush, and I used the nib of my glue pot to stick all these bits down, and then he's absolutely ready for blanket stitch, running stitch, whatever you want to do. And that's on a cushion. We've got some cushion covers on the show, so that's for going on a cushion. But I would like to go around the edges of all of these bits to actually blanket stitch very finely to hold him in place, because although I've glued him, he's still got areas, look, where you can lift him up. It's completely and utterly, I mean, to be honest, you could leave the mane like that, but to be perfectly honest, the glue is fantastic and that's never going to come off, but I would put some stitch on just to bring out the detail. And I don't know, as I said, if you can see the silver thread that's, I don't know if you can see it on my unicorn. So you could use silver and gold and all sorts. So let's just do a little bit of stitching on that piggy wiggy. Like I say, I'm quite conscious of time. I don't want to sort of keep you hanging around, but I'll bring in my machine. I'll put you on the needle cam. I've lost my piece of fabric, but I'm sure I'll find it in a second. And we'll just do a little bit of free motion with, let's get it so you can see a little bit better. Now, if you're going to do free motion, don't just free motion him as is, okay? Don't just free motion him as is. What you need is a piece of tearaway stabilizer, okay? Cheap as chips, or you could put him in a hoop. What size stitch for blanket stitch? Well, I would say I would go small, Audrey. I would say only a couple of millimeters between each stitch. and a couple of millimeters in. I mean, that is tiny, but that's maybe a wee bit bigger, but not much. What's the best way with the glue? I can't get mine to stick with it. Well, you should, Jeanette. It's really, really good glue. You know, I highly recommend it. And I just use a brush. I sort of put some on my mat, and I just pick the glue up with my brush and brush it on, and then I just leave it to set. So I've got my little piggy wig, my little 8.5 inch square, onto tearaway. Now you do not have to stick this down. It floats behind the piece, or you could put him in a hoop. Okay, you could put him in a hoop. But what we can do is we can stitch around him and see how we get on. Now you'll be limited to what you can see because you're in my room, you're not in the TV studio. But I'll do my best. I can zoom in a bit more if you like. If you just bear with me. I'll zoom in. I'm never sure which way, so no, wrong way. So let's go that way. Okay. I think that's zoomed in enough. So you're going to feed dogs down. If you can't get your feed dogs down, put your stitch length on 0. Every machine will do free motion, but you need a free motion foot, preferably one with an open toe, because you can see where you're going. Use a closed toe if your pieces are not stuck down, and that way you won't catch them. So don't worry about your stitch length, just go for feed dogs down. I'm not even thinking about what my stitch length is. That's nothing to do with free motion. So just do a couple of little stitches on the spot, just to grab your threads. Ooh, rotten fly. Now I have cream in my bobbin, but you could use bobbin fill. Okay, so it's just a thought. So we're just going around here, and what we're doing is drawing with our stitch. And I've got a variegated thread in my machine, so you'll get a different sort of look. So I'm going up to the top of his ear, and then I'm coming down. And you know what? This is something that you may not want to do. You might hate it. But finishing it off with stitch is actually, you're kind of making it stand out more. So you can see already that his little head is already standing out. Now, again, don't break your threads. Just do what you would do if you're machine embroidering, and that is do yourself a jump thread and jump across to the next part, and then just stitch that. You might find that you like going backwards. You might find you like going forwards. I prefer going forwards. You should, with free motion, be able to go north, south, east, west, but not everybody can. So just do what you can. And practice. Don't just think that you're going to free motion and you've not done it for weeks. Practice on a little piece of fabric before you go ahead, because you'll end up in a right old state. So even I practice before I start stitching. So let's just have a quick look at that. Sorry, I'll bring him round. We could do with putting some eyes on there, really. Now, if you're going to do eyes, use a pen. Use a pen to draw his eyes, so you know exactly where they're going to go. And we could look at the example just to see. And of course, oh, I haven't got my pen here. Okay, we'll ignore the fact that I haven't got the pen. So now we're just going to go around his body. So again, hold on to your thread if you need to. And we're just doing a quick couple of little stitches on the spot, just to make sure our threads have grabbed, and just trim the tail if you can. If you can't, wait till you're past that part. Ooh, through a few layers there. And I'm going across the feet at the bottom and coming up the other side. Now, because I'm using variegated thread, obviously I'm getting different tones of pink. And yeah, that's why I used it, because I thought that would be fun. So I'm doing 2 rows of stitching, where you might want to do 3. I wouldn't suggest 1. So I'm just going to pop across to his tail. Just be careful that you take your time. I think you can hear Oh, my thread's just come unthreaded. You can hear the sort of speed I'm going. Let's just go back to the front just for a second. Thank you. So I'm not going super fast. I'm just taking my time. Now this is, I have to say, this is really old thread. I don't know how many years I've had it, and in fact I think it was from my mum, and I hate to think how many years she's had it, so it's possibly why it broke. If you find that happens to you a lot, have a look at your tensions, just loosen them slightly. I'll loosen mine. And always with embroidery, use good quality thread, okay? Always, without a shadow of a doubt. Don't think your cheap threads will cut the mustard, because they absolutely will not with machine embroidery. That's one thing that I'm quite sort of keen that you do, is to invest in some nice threads. And to be honest, I'm just using a Gutermann, because this is just a demo piece, but you could use some silky threads, no reason why not, but buy quality. I really wouldn't go cheap. And the best manufacturer that I use is Japanese thread. Japanese thread is second to none, but they don't sell it on Create and Craft, so I can't talk to you about that. Okay, so look, the thread's breaking. That's because it's old thread. If I showed you, it even looks old. So it does make a difference. If I go onto the overhead and show you what I've done so far, and I would persevere with it, I absolutely would. So you can see how a little bit of stitching has given it definition, and you can see that it's giving it it's brought it to life. So if I put my hand on there, look, it looks quite dull, but if I put my hand there, look, it's brought it to life. And then of course you could, I'm using a size 12 needle, Audrey. French knots for eyes, brilliant idea, because they're always easy to do. And be careful with your eyes. Make sure they're not too small. Make sure when you draw your eyes, or when you're, whatever you're going to do, make them quite big. Well, don't do pin dots, because little tiny squitty eyes makes an animal look almost cross, really. You need, especially for a baby sort of effect, you want to have a sort of bigger eyes, because they look cuter with bigger eyes. But experiment with that. And what you could do is cut out lots of little heads and glue them onto something with, well, by whatever means you have, and then practice drawing on them or stitching on them to see the sort of effect. But I would always say to you, have a look at the packaging, have a look at the picture, and have a look at where the eyes are. And the eyes tend to be in the middle of the head. They tend to be there, and then the eyebrows above, and the eyebrows tend to be just like this, so they're looking almost surprised, with, you know, eyes wide open. If you do it like this, they'll be cross. So keep an eye on the packaging, and like I said, those eyes should be around about the middle of the head. It does make a difference, because they're supposed to be cute. Anyway, there we are. So that's me done. I don't want to do any more, because I've got to pack up my car now. I hope that's been useful. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry about my thread breaking, otherwise we'd have finished the little piggy off, but I'm not going to struggle with it. I'll have to see if I can finish it off before tomorrow. I doubt whether I will. Would I use a bobbin fill? Yes, bobbin fill is quite good. You still might see it with darker thread. My top tip is always have a bobbin of pretty much the same colour underneath, or at least go for a dark brown, dark grey. If you're using creams, whites, light colours, then I wouldn't worry too much, but bobbin fill is good, but you still might see it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, so have a little experiment, see how you feel about it. Don't change the bobbin, just use it as it is and see how you get on. I think you'll have fun. So there we are. Yes, you can make it into a handheld toy, Patricia, because we saw that in the example. It's right in the bottom of the box now. They can be 3D, so it could be a little handheld thing. Wouldn't that be the cutest thing? Because they're about 4.5 inches, depending on where you place all the body parts. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodnight because I've got to pack my car now. Not too bad an early start tomorrow because it's 9:45 my first show. Usually it's 7:30 and I have to get up about 4, but it's 9:45 tomorrow, and it's a two shows, so it's 1.5 hours. I think I finish at 11:15, I think, if I've done my maths right. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can get the dies on the Crafter's Companion website if you have to log in to see them, or you can go on to Create and Craft. I think they've got them loaded on there, or you can wait for me tomorrow because it might be that the price changes. It does tend to do that on Create and Craft. And if you do get the bundle from Create and Craft, you get this really useful applique sheet, and you've seen how that works now. You can realise how useful that could be. Okay, don't forget the felt bundle. I think there's 17 sheets of felt. It's really good. Yeah, and the felt is good. You can put a hot iron on it, no bother. Right, I will see you tomorrow. Night night everybody. Night.